Hopefully you all can hear me over the air conditioning in here. I am in the RV that we just traveled for 3.5 weeks across country in without cats. Um, so that's what part of this talk is about is basically I bought an Amazon Echo so I could see the cats and they could see me in theory. So I was going to tell you how that went and also tell you all the different changes that are going on. A lot of big stuff, a lot of just crazy off the wall. I can't believe I'm actually doing this stuff. So yeah, so I bought the Echo Show. I got like a refurbished one. That way it's a little bit more cost effective. I'm cheap. Hello, Miss Rachel. Thank you for joining me. One question, can you hear me fine over the air conditioning? If so, I can turn it off. Like if it's a problem, I can turn it off, but it's Georgia. It's 89 degrees, kind of like Macy. I already look like a hot mess. I have been cleaning out this RV. We've been very busy since we got back Tuesday night. Yeah, Tuesday night. So Wednesday we started with the craziness happening. So I bought the Echo Show, again, refurbished one, thinking that I put it on the floor in the living room, and I was like, oh, that'll be one of my videos. I can FaceTime with the cats, essentially, talk with the cats. I can screen record, and it'll work great. I'd probably say, oh, you thought it was raining. Yeah, the thing's a bit noisy, isn't it? But I'll just talk loud. I can do that. So forgive the background noise. But the kids are nuts in the house, so this is the only way to actually talk to you. The Echo Show, every time we dropped in, there was either not a cat in the living room, or if Kitty was in the window box, you could see an ear twitch. She could care less that we were calling her name. Only once did Charlie, he happened to be in the bed that was laying next to it on the floor, and he kind of looked and he was really confused. About 2 minutes of looking around, not knowing what to do, and then he went back to sleep. And that was the only time I got a response. The pet sitter had her niece with her, and she was putting together the Perini, and I think it got bumped a few times, so some of the times it's at different angles. The Echo Show thing, I could have gotten a mount, but again, I was being cheap. I didn't know if it was going to work. And I knew the cats were going to be on floor level, so I figured setting it on the floor should be fine, off to the side. And it still got bumped. I saw lots of the Perini. Some days, like, all you could see was the Perini. That's that buildable Catress cat playground thing that I've shown in the past. It must be very hard to always clean up after Bo. But yeah, I look like a hot mess today because I have been cleaning so much. So basically the Echo Show did not work. So that never became the video that it was supposed to for last week. Kind of missed like a week. Which is a big no-no in YouTube land, but oh well. Life happens, and so we spent 3.5 weeks on the road with pet sitters being in the house all the time with the cats. Minimum, they were there twice a day for at least 30 minutes, playing with the cats, doing lots of enrichment. But I have an awesome pet sitter, so she snuck in a whole bunch more to just socialize with them, because Ellie is a very, very needy cat. My little, the muted calico that I have, the small calico, yeah, very needy. And so we got back, and I spent basically a day and a half that if I was sitting in the house, I was covered in cats. The first night I had 4 cats on top of me. Jeremy's cat never even moved. She stayed with her head on my shoulder and cuddled up to his hand the entire night, never left the bed. And we knew that it was really hard for us being away from the cats, and we knew once we got back the cats felt the same way. They made it very apparent. I went to try to leave, so we get back on Tuesday night. Wednesday during the day, I went to leave, and Charlie tried to block me from going out the door. Literally sat in front of the door, back against the door, and wouldn't move. So again, they let us know when, you know, they're having neediness. And so Wednesday, we started the life changes that I'm about to go into. We decided that this 21-foot RV motorhome was just way too small for 5 of us, because it's my 2 kids, 7 and 10, 11, wait, 10. 10, right? Yeah, she's about to turn 11. But, so 2 kids, husband, myself, and number 5 is Mr. Adam Brown from the Adam Brown Adventures, who is 6'3". There's not enough room in 21 feet for all of us. And my sanity. Because I'm very OCD about keeping things clean and organized, and that went to hell. I found myself sweeping like 3 times a day, because when you drive around in a motorhome, dust falls. It's just how it is. We hit a lot of potholes. If you saw my husband's stuff on Exploring Nug, we had 2 blowouts on the RV, and I'm blaming Missouri for all of it, their roads, and 2 blowouts on the boat trailer. We went and picked up a boat in Idaho. So my husband is very good at changing a tire on the side of the road. And the last blowout, it was 98 degrees with a feels like 106. It was not fun. That's part of the glow I have right now, because as you can tell, there's not a lot of makeup and stuff going on here. I look like a hot mess, and I'm okay with it today. Let's see. Yeah, your calico doesn't like to be alone. Neither does mine. So that's where we started talking about my husband could really help a whole lot more people and be even more thorough, because it's hard when you do these trips, traveling around the country, trying to find people that are missing in their vehicles. That's what he does, in water. If you only allocate a day or 2 days to finding that person in that area and then having to move on, sometimes there's so many little ponds that you need to check, and yes, they can be in those little ponds. We've already learned the hard way. Lots of river. We basically traveled all the way down the Missouri. And the Missouri is a disgusting river that they love to dump cars in. I mean, one spot had 7 cars, just off one ramp. So, and that's how the entire Missouri seemed to be for us. Very treacherous. They had to take their time. It's just swirling thick chocolate chunks of milk. Like, it is not a pretty river. And of course the kids can't go near the river, so it made them a little stir crazy. But no, Troy, or Adam Brown Adventures, is not messy. I see the question in there. He's probably the cleanest of them all, besides me. But so to start with, we want to be able to go and help more people and spend more time in different locations. So the current scheme in our heads is, after this new year, we will go full-time living, and an RV. Sounds like fun, right? That way there's a lot of river clean out, so we'll concentrate on not just missing people, but pulling refrigerators out of the river, other cars, barrels. I know you've all heard the Lake Mead stuff. And it's funny, when that actually came to light, Jeremy had already been talking a while about wanting to pull a few of these barrels out, just not having the chance to yet, because there's barrels all over, which it kind of makes you wonder. So basically we'll be able to concentrate on cleaning out everything from an area, and do it, over a week or 2, and looking for that missing person and truly cover all bodies of water in that area. So yeah, that's the game plan. Wednesday, So we get back like 8 o'clock Tuesday night. Wednesday morning, we were at the car dealership buying our truck for the size RV I wanted. We needed a dually, which is, again, very expensive with the gas issues going on right now. You wouldn't believe what it costs just getting to Idaho for our trip. So yeah, it's not a cheap job to have, we'll say. But so we got a Chevy Silverado. I want to call it like a 350 or a 3500, some zero added onto that. Dually, diesel, so we can pull our new RV. The RV will have all 5 cats in it with us. We will, from now on, be traveling with cats. I've already figured out how to configure, because the truck is so big and the kids sit in the back, I'm going to, and I will end up showing you all this stuff, but in between the kids will be 2 stacked carriers that are attached to the car, so they can't just go flying. I've shown one of the cat carriers before. It's a very large one on wheels for the 17, 18 pounder that we have. I used to be nice and call her 17 and a half pounds, and now I think she's more towards the 18 pound side. She's a fluffy girl, but also like extremely long and giant. So it's the carrier for her, and then stacked on top of her will be Charlie and Ellie Mae, and the same size carrier, which is really for 2 cats, but because she's gigantic, there's only one in there. And then I have another large one that the sides open up, so you can travel with them more compact, and then once you get where you need to go, like the floorboard of the truck, it opens up, and Kitty and Donnie do really well together. So Donnie's my scaredy cat that lives under the bed. He will be up with me, covered up. Should he not be so scared, I can uncover him some, but most likely he'll be covered and down where there's airflow, so I'll make sure he doesn't get overheated. And he'll have Kitty as his companion. She's the almost 17-year-old we have. And yeah, 5 cats, 4 of us. Adam's going to drive separately so he can pull the boat. And we're still trying to figure out how to do RV parks with 2 big trucks and a boat and the gigantic RV. Let's see. Yes, definitely getting a bigger RV. We'll be homeschooling after the new year. Because COVID went so well for us. That's probably the part I'm dreading most, is having to homeschool the kids. Yeah, my oldest is a bit rebellious to mom being a teacher. My son is so carefree with everything. He just goes with the flow. You tell him to do something, he's like, okay. My daughter, she's like, do what? What do you want me to do? Do I have to? How can I push back? Like, she's the stubborn one, we'll say. We are not selling the house. We are keeping our little house as kind of a home base for when it's needed. Just because we have so much stuff, and I have my grandmother's items that still haven't technically been, because COVID hit, while everything was still in the court system, her estate hasn't been finalized, and she was living with us when she passed. And there's still things that technically, per the will, have to be split between relatives. But one of the relatives has been sick with the knee surgery, and she now has COVID right now. Her first time catching COVID, and she's had all her vaccines, and she's doing very rough. So I'm just holding on to all of Grandma's stuff, and I will be a storage unit for a little bit. So yeah, we're staying in our little 2-bedroom house. I mean, it's nothing grand, so it's not like it costs us an arm and a leg. It's still pretty cheap. We bought it 14 years ago, so we're okay with that with the RV. Yes, I really wanted to move to my dream house. We put in so many bids, saw so many houses, and no matter how nice we thought that bid was over, we still just kept not getting it. And I kept saying things happen for a reason. And then I'd probably say day 2, if not day 1, of driving the RV around, we started talking about going full-time living. So it looks like we'll do 8 months of full-time, and then as the school year comes back around, we will let the kids go through the first semester of school again. My daughter's a cheerleader and she has gymnastics. My son does gymnastics, so they can still get all that stuff in, but then also get the chance to go on the road. And we're going to do this all the way through, we think, we'll change our minds, I'm sure, until she starts high school. So that gives us, she's going into 5th grade. We have 4 years to get all this out of our system, be that weird family that travels around in the RV. We no longer have dogs. They have now both passed. They were 14. Both had different types of cancer. So the doggies are gone now. So it's just 5 cats in an RV. And I've gone nuts. I will do a walkthrough video of different things I'm buying for the RV for the cats, where I'm placing scratchers, where I'm placing litter boxes. I'm again OCD planning, so I haven't been able to sleep because I've been planning out how everything's going to go in my head. And of course, we went to the RV lot on Wednesday with the intention of buying a different RV, and then walked into one that was a smidge bigger, and just that moment you walk in and you're like, wow, this is it. And that's all she wrote. I really wanted an RV that had a lot of couch seating, so I wasn't considering the other one at all because it just has 2 recliners that go back and then a table, like kitchen table. And I was like, there's no way that's enough seating. Well, I've now since bought floor seats for the kids that kind of click into place and they can recline. We'll figure it out. I figure since this next trip is 2.5 weeks, we'll figure how everything sits and flows, and by the time we're living in it full time, it'll probably be a little bit excuse me, different of a configuration. Rachel's asking about seatbelts for dogs. My cat carrier has seatbelt attachments. So there's 2 different ways that you can attach them. You can use your own clickies to put them into place using the part for child seats, or there's extra straps on the side of it that are made for the seatbelt to go through. So you can seatbelt the whole carrier into place. And I think I should be able to actually run the seatbelt through, because I'm buying 2 of the same ones that are hard, rigid. They have a metal frame to them, so I don't have to worry about cats pushing each other. But I think I should be able to run the seatbelt down the side and still click it, and have the part that goes around the front too, and the shoulder strap go around the top of it, in theory, to be able to secure the the carriers that are in the back of the truck. We don't know yet for sure that everything fits, because the truck is getting its 5th wheel attachment, its gooseneck thing for the RV. It's getting that put in. So as soon as they call us and tell us that it's done, then we go and pick it up, and then we can pick up the RV. The RV place said they're just holding on to the RV until we're ready. So no rush from their end. So Adam or Troy, thank you, does not need in this RV to sleep in his truck. When he's with us, he'll get the guest bedroom. It's a crazy RV. And the kids get the big loft that is up top. So it's technically a 2-bedroom with a gigantic loft. And I mean gigantic. It has the full-size teddy bear mattresses that they put in RVs. It has 3 of those across. And then it still has 5-6 feet at the foot of that of just open space. So it's a very, very big loft. I'm going to run curtains going down the middle so each kid has their own side. And then the curtain at the front of it, that way when we're in the living room and the lights are on and it's time for them to go to bed, they don't have to worry about us really disrupting them. So Adam will have the guest bedroom, and it's actually, sounds so crazy me saying this, a full bathroom RV. I guess go big or go home. That seems to be my motto with everything. We went from the smallest RV motorhome that they make, like the standard motorhomes that's not a van, to basically the largest standard fifth wheel. Double the length of the current one I'm sitting in. Yes, Jeremy can drive it, and yes, I will be driving it too. I drove most of the trip anyways. The only time I didn't really drive is when there was 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. Jeremy was a little freaked out at the thought of me driving, and he said I was too rough on the RV because I'd rev it a little bit, trying to get it to go up hills. Apparently this bad boy is not made to go more than 50 miles an hour up any type of hill. It was a very, very slow go. It was very rare that we were doing the speed limit in this thing. Yeah. So we bought a truck that can handle going up hills. We've got a big beefy truck, which is going to need a name, and the RV is going to need a name. I never got to name this RV because I wanted to name it after finding the first person, whatever the town was, the person, something associated with it. That didn't happen on this trip. Some of the ones that we thought should have been shoo-ins really weren't. And then others, it was so windy that it was not safe for my husband to go searching. If you saw any of his stuff, like he did a short going out on a lake and there's white caps on a lake. We were just, for about a week, no matter where we were, we had 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. It was a bit crazy for us driving through the snow. We were leaving 95 degrees to go drive through the snow in Wyoming. I had a moment where I'm driving going, is that a snowflake? And then looking around going, okay, there's still snow on the ground here. It really could be a snowflake. And then you start realizing it really is snow coming down. We dealt with tornadoes that my father-in-law was driving through with us, and the hail hitting. If you heard about the 8 inches in Wyoming of hail in one little town, yeah, that was the tornado we drove through the beginning of. You know, again, go big, go home. But, yeah, so we are getting a fifth wheel. That way, it's, even though it's really, it's 43 feet. I told you, go big, go home. So much of it's over the bed, it doesn't seem as long as if you're pulling, let's say, a 40-foot pull behind. You still have that V that's at the front. It makes it seem so much longer. This helps, it keeps the stability of it, so that's why we decided to go this route. And this one will be good for us when we're doing the truly living on the road in the RV. It has a washer dryer, again, 2 full baths with showers. When the guys are really yucky and they need to come in to go to the bathroom, the guest bathroom actually has a door off of it. So they can just come into the bathroom and go back out. They don't have to mess up my RV. Again, OCD. I was sweeping 3 times a day because I have a kid that eats popcorn like Cookie Monster. So I need more space. Oh, I could have gone to Class A. Yeah, I'm good. I think our 2-bedroom mansion on wheels, no joke, with the layout, there's probably as much storage, if not more, in the RV than our own house. And granted, I have a 2-bedroom house, a little 1,200 square foot house. And it's from 1989, so it's missing some of its shininess and its fancy feeling, and the RV gets that to me. I may do another live on next Sunday, just as a kind of a walkthrough and show you some of the things, the cat scratchers I'm putting into place, things like that for the cats. Even though there is a nice fancy loft, I thought about doing like a cat climber so the cats could get up there too. And then I remember that the kids have to shut their bedroom door because Charlie wakes them up at night, grooming them and headbutting them, and I get some very cranky kids if Charlie gets in the room. So we will leave that a cat-free zone. And it's the only place that has carpet in the RV. The cat litter boxes will be going in the showers. Jeremy really wants to cut a hole into the down below storage. We have one pass through that goes from each side to the other. The only place to really put it is in the middle of the walkway in the bedroom, which means one of us is falling in and breaking our leg. So maybe one day we can figure out how to do it, but the way I've been looking at a lot of schematics and everything, the way everything seems set up, and from what I can remember, again, we don't have it in our possession yet, there's not a feasible place to put it. So, actually, it just dawned on me. Maybe the front compartment that's supposed to be for the generator, maybe we put the generator on the side, and then the front compartment just going to be a litter box. But, again, everything is once we finally get the RV in our possession. Let's see. Well, I have a run made for the cats when you're at campsites. I wonder if that's, I bought the kitty cat temperature or pet temperature monitor for the RV. That way, if we are leaving to go get food, or if we're all riding together to one of the sites where they're going to be diving, I will always have a monitor knowing that everything is running, that no CO2, no fire, and the temperature. So that I will always have it touch my hand, and if it ever alerts anything, it lets me know. So the cats will always be safe. Expect lots of wind in the prairies. I know. Wyoming's wind and Nebraska actually had the strongest of the winds. That was where first day we hit 40-mile-an-hour wind gusts when we were going through that area. Then like second day, it started as 50-mile, and by the end of the day, it was 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. And Jeremy was driving white-knuckled, like, it was not fun. And then, basically, we get to Idaho, and there's some windy days, nothing too bad. And we start to drive to Wyoming, and the wind kicks back up. And then when we made, like, a part of the way stop to check for Billy and Mary Lou Black in Kansas. It's one that Jared with Adventures with Purpose had checked the river, but we wanted to check the ponds in the area. We got to 2 of the ponds, but then we started getting the white caps on the ponds again, and the lake. And it was, you can't tell that you're being completely thorough with sonar when you're moving so much. So we will eventually go back and recheck some spots. We thought about checking other spots in the river. Couldn't do it because the river was so treacherous. We ended up finding out that day that someone did lose their life on that river in that area. Their boat sunk. So it was a good call my husband didn't do that. I also got to see in Wyoming a furniture truck spilled open, cracked open like it was an egg, and there's furniture everywhere because the wind blew it over. Let's see. Yeah, tornado, humid, hot. It was not fun. Wait 5 minutes though. For many of you know that I do catios for my cats. I am trying to think of some safe ways for airflow and things like that for the cats. Right now, we do sorry, I had the hiccups. The RV we have ordered, it has like little windows that you can kind of like roll out, like they push out or lift up, and it has screens that do not move. So I will double check that they can't accidentally pop out or anything like that, and then make some kitty cat spots in front of them for them to get their little catio experience and look around. Van Life with Gona? She has 5 in her RV. I will check her out. I have to say, some of the ones I've been, like, you know, we all do our research through YouTube videos at this point, but I've been looking at other people with campers, and some of the stuff I see just, as a vet tech, makes me cringe. Giving their cat basically a spot this big to pee, and it's like, oh, they love it. Your cat does not like having to either stand straight up to pee or hunch over in a ball to try to poop, or they showed them going to the litter box and basically the cat's front end is out of the box because that's all that only the back end can fit. And they're like, oh, it's so great. As a vet tech and dealing with all the behavior issues with cats, the rule of thumb is a litter box needs to be 1.5 times the length of the cat from its nose to its butt. So if you have a cat that's, 12 inches long, it should be an 18-inch litter box at least. And 12 inches long is really like a kitten. But so some of the litter box solutions are hard for me to watch. Or how they get them from the truck to the RV. One guy, basically, he opens up his back door. The back door is a big cat cage, back area, and he wraps them in a towel and then gets them into the RV. And he talks about how he was bit and sliced, and the cat got loose in the campground and took over an hour to find the cat because the cat wasn't in a carrier. And he just opens the door and tries to carry the cat, and a goose honked or something, and the cat attacked him and then ran off. My cats, I've already gotten name tags. I have harnesses that they will be wearing at all times. I have a couple cats that can't do collars. Donnie, with his congestive heart issues, coughs a lot, no collars. So he needs like a harness. But then we have Mr. Special Needs Charlie, who, when he did have a collar, got his legs a couple times stuck in his collar. I'd love to say it was just the front leg, but he also got it stuck with the back foot, behind like his I guess where his knee is. He got his back foot stuck up in there. Charlie can't do regular collars either. So I just did harnesses across the board. Everyone has their own color coordination and name tags on them with my information, Jeremy's information. So safety is a big thing. I will also double check the screen door and make sure that the screen door can be left, or like the regular door is open with the screen door, make sure that the cats can't somehow break out. Because I have cats that know how to use door latches. So there's a lot of things to consider, a lot of things going into it. Trying to keep the cats happy, keep the RV from smelling. So I think that's why I'm going to use the, I point like you guys know what I'm talking about, the showers. Because the showers, I can always have the vents always going in there, getting rid of the smell. And I'm going to use cling wrap to guard the shower drain. That way nothing gets into the septic tank and messes it up. So right now it's so much planning, and we were only going to be back in town for 2 weeks. So we got back on a Tuesday and we're leaving 2 weeks and a day, I guess, that next Wednesday. So we leave on the 6th. The neighbors are watching the house. Jeremy got a Simply Safe sponsor, so that's a good thing. So everything is being cleaned out, I guess you could say. And the harnesses I got are ones that cats can't slide out of, by the way. I see that a lot at the vet. The harnesses that cats can't slide out of, that are basically one solid piece that velcros and wraps around. I've seen cats slide out of, just say. This one, when you pull on the leash, it tightens everything up. It cinches down to them. And then when you loosen up, it loosens. But not like loosens off. It just isn't snug. So that's kind of the direction we went with that one. They all are microchipped. So should the worst case happen, everyone's got microchips. Let's see. So really, right now, I work Monday and I also work Wednesday. Monday is my clients that have been waiting on me to get back from my trip to see me. I'm a vet tech for a mobile vet, and there are clients that, even though I found myself a very good replacement, she's very, very good with cats. I'm happy with passing over the reins to her. I still have some clients that like me, or that the cat, we've been doing, one of them, the owner has been paying for us to come out and just socialize with the cat and show him that vets aren't scary. He's had some really bad experiences with even the in-home vets. We do what's called fear-free, so the goal is to keep him calm and happy, give him some happy drugs. So now this cat will let me pick him up. Tomorrow, Monday, he will be getting his rabies vaccine again with us. It'll be our first time doing vaccines, but we've been slowly. The owner sits with him in his lap and has like a pin that he pokes him with and pulls up the skin like we would for giving a shot. He's been working with him with towels, just everything that a scaredy cat needs, this owner is doing to be able to help him. So we will be going there, and then one of the other good clients that it's hard to get a blood pressure on them. That's one of my odd mad skills that I have, is using what we call a Doppler unit, which you have to like listen through this big box at the heart rate and get the blood pressure. So yeah, so it's Monday I will be seeing clients that have been waiting for me, and then Wednesday the new girl, I'll be training her on, we do surgeries, depending on, it can be once a week or it can be once a month, for rescue groups. And she hasn't been trained yet in how we do our surgeries. So Wednesday, I'll be doing surgeries, a whole bunch of dog and like Pomeranians. They're all Pomeranians, spay and neuters. So we'll be doing that, and then I can start my crazy OCD, getting everything loaded and planned. My house looks like a bomb went off. Everything that was in this RV, all the clothes, all the, like I had, like above me is storage, all around is storage. I had bins for everything. The food for, it just reminded me, I have not cleaned out the fridge. That was the only thing I haven't done yet. But everything that was in here in the last 3 days has come out of here, and I've cleaned it. My son got popcorn everywhere. There was popcorn in every crevice of this place, it felt like. So all the stuff had to go somewhere, and it couldn't just be put up in its place because it's just going to come back out. Hopefully Tuesday we can pick up the truck and the RV. If not, we'll do it Thursday. Because the truck's like, without traffic, over an hour drive. Well, right at an hour to the other side of Atlanta from us. And yeah, if there is like rush hour traffic, that could be like getting home in the afternoon. It could go from an hour to 2.5 hours from that side of town. It's ridiculous, but that's part of living in Atlanta or the suburbs. So Tuesday or Thursday, I will start my craziness of restocking everything that is just lining my hallway right now in my living room and getting it back into the RV, stocking it. I will actually have, like, this RV doesn't have an oven, it just has a stovetop, and it doesn't have really food pantry. Like it's very limited when it comes to, like, there's two doors up above me, above the table, but it goes the length of the table. And then there's one cabinet across from me, and then there's the under sink stuff and one drawer. So I'm gonna have a lot more space. I have a lot more planning. I can bring my crock pot and my air fryer. I need to get TVs for it still, but I need to be able to measure and know what type of wall units, because it comes with a TV in it, but it doesn't come with, like, the bedrooms can have their own TVs and stuff. So, like, lots of crazy planning that you guys probably don't even care about. Will you be driving to Hawaii? Kind of wish. I've seen some of those RVs that are also boats. That would be kind of fun. We have had a couple people telling us that there are people missing in Hawaii that they want us to come look for. That's just not feasible for us. Kind of like the people that want us to come to, like, Colombia. Also not quite a safe place for us to come looking for people that have probably been hidden in cars in the water. Yes, we will definitely do a video tour. Like, I got a water bowl that I don't have to dump out in between moving from spot to spot. Supposedly it is a splash-free water bowl that the cats will drink out of. I will still bring the water fountain that they like, just as a backup, because I have some cats that like still water and some that have, like, moving water. I did recently see a battery operated, like, cordless style water fountain. To me, it didn't look the easiest to fill up. You have to kind of take it apart and put water back in it. It didn't make sense. And it's motion sensor, so it doesn't make the trickling until the cat moves. And I have a feeling some of my scaredy cat ones that might scare them. So I'm considering that one, but yeah, scratchers and how I'm setting up the litter boxes and giving the scaredy cat that lives under the bed a hidey hole in the bedroom on the back side of the bed using the carrier. That way he has his safe place, and he'll also have the closet. Yeah, that's all that I will be showing. I might do, like, a separate video instead of, like, my cat toy video, just to show you the place, because it's fancier than some houses. I swear. But again, I gave up my dream that I was trying to do of getting a newer house and one that wasn't a 2-bedroom. I decided that I'm okay now with giving that up, because I see the potential with traveling around the country. And that's why I wanted a nicer RV. I wanted one that we can have space in when Adam's with us. We won't feel like we're on top of him. I don't have to make eye contact with him, like when he lays at night on his pillow where I sleep across from him. I can see his face the entire time. Really weird. And we all get to hear my husband's story. And I have been sharing a queen-size bed with a bed hog that snores. The first couple nights, I woke up with Jeremy's shoulder was on top of my shoulder and his head was right here, snoring like a freight train, and I'm just kind of pinned. I'd say most of the trip, he slept with one of the kids on, like, this table in front of me. This dinette turns into a full-size bed. Yeah, he slept on it with one of the kids, and I slept in the bed with one of the kids. And, like, the kids every night switched off. Yeah, that was, luckily, since this really loud fan that you hear kind of drowns out some of his snoring, it wasn't so bad, but Adam could hear it even louder. Yes, lots of toys for the kitty cats and the kids. I've already bought a new cat one to keep in the RV, one that's a little bit shorter, that way I can still hide it from Ellie. Ellie will go to the cabinet that I keep the big wand in when she wants to play and just sit there and chirp. until you open the cabinet. She is all about playtime with a wand. That is her thing. She's very aggressive, growls, gets very angry. So I've already gotten the wand, because it didn't come with an attachment, and then 2 attachments. What else? Oh, if you saw the accordion looking ball toy where the ball spins around that I did like 2 or 3 videos ago, I bought a second one of those to attach to it to make it even bigger, so the cats can really jump into the middle of it and play with it. The cats are still loving that toy. I didn't think it would be as big of a hit as it is. So that will be going in the RV, because it's something that, should I need to pack away, it just folds up into a piece that's like this big. So I guess 2 of those when I attach 2 pieces together. So yeah, lots of kitty enrichment, lots of human enrichment. I'm already like cleaning out of my head where to put the cat food, where to put the cat plates, because I do paper plates for them. We tried to give everyone their own plate. That doesn't fly in this house for some reason. They want a little bit of the pate, a couple of them, and a little bit of the gravy from shreds, and then I have another one that will only eat the shreds but doesn't eat the gravy. And so I get the large, really cheap paper plates, and I put a can of each at each mealtime, of the shreds with gravy and a pate, and I chop it all up how it needs to be, and then I make a big ring around the edge. And I have a gigantic mat, and I just put the plate down on the mat and let them wander around and mix and eat as they would wish. So they get wet food twice a day, and then they get treats, of course, and they have a dry food buffet that they can free feed from whenever they want. Just because my old guy that lives under the bed won't come out for wet food. So he goes and picks up the dry food when no one's on that side of the house. And go figure, he's the fattest one because all he eats is dry. Let's see. I wonder if cats perceive snoring as humans purring. I don't know. Charlie, I have caught Charlie, and Jeremy's woken up to it. Charlie, if Jeremy is sitting there, will stick a paw in his mouth or his nose in his mouth. I think they're annoyed by it too, honestly. Jeremy twitches a lot in his sleep. So his cat will start with him. She always sleeps between us, but she'll start all curled up on his hand, looking adorable, and then he starts the twitching, and then she comes over to me and sleeps with me the rest of the night. But I do have to say, the second night we were back, the cats decided to not completely pile on top of me, and Cindy was at Jeremy's feet. And Jeremy has this dream, he says, where I guess I was tripping going down the stairs, and in his dream he threw his foot out to try to stop my fall, or at least lessen my fall with his foot. And he woke up to straightening his leg out like this and flung all 18 pounds off the bed onto the floor with Cindy like on the floor going, "What happened?" So yeah, he picked her up and put her back on the bed, and she left and then went over to my feet again. So he's a violent sleeper. He did once break my nose in his sleep. To be fair, I had had sinus surgery 2 days before, and he rolled over like elbow-wise, and I'm laying there half awake, one of those I'm awake but I don't really want to open my eyes, and I just feel pop, and I heard the crack. They had broken my nose but left part of it attached, so they were fixing the deviated septum, and he broke it the rest of the way. I made it through a really rough sinus surgery. Like, I had polyps in my sinuses, so I had lost all sense of smell. There was no airflow getting in. I had 100% occlusion is what they call it. So completely blocked sinuses from all these polyps. And again, I had no smell whatsoever, which, working with dogs at the time, I worked for an exotic vet, but we saw cats, dogs, parrots, snakes, you name it. It was very nice that I didn't have to smell some of that. But yeah, he broke my nose the rest of the way, and then it gave me 2 black eyes. But I made it through the surgery and all that chaos that they did inside there. And I didn't have any of the black eye that you can get during sinus surgery. He breaks my nose, black eyes. Oh, you bet I was pampered for months. Yeah, you don't know my husband. He tried to deny it at first. He's like, I didn't do that. I'm like, oh, you did. But of course he felt bad. But yeah. But let's see. Yeah, so I have been talking for a while. How long have I been on? Like 15 minutes, I think that says. My glasses were in the RV. I packed them into one of the boxes. I don't know where my glasses are. So I'm just going to pretend I think that does say 51 now. Oh, I should video. I have video or sound of Jeremy talking in his sleep, giggling in his sleep, a lot of snoring. Like, he does the most unusual snores. It can sound like a water driplet sound, whoop, 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 kind of, or just a freight train. He'll do the swallow his tongue and then not breathe for a second, the sleep apnea thing, and then catch his breath again. Back when he first started snoring, he used to think it was me snoring, so he'd like kick me, trying to make me stop snoring in his sleep. And one time, when I got pregnant, I was really bad snoring because everything swells up. I'm laying there unable to sleep, and he's snoring, and he kicks me, and that's how I figured out he was kicking me in his sleep to try to wake me up, thinking in his head that I was the one snoring. But really, it was him. Yeah, so we need the king-size bed. That was the whole off-topic thing. Yes, need a king-size bed. That, and there's 4 cats to sleep on top of us. My alarm clock, my Ellie Mae, 7:06 on the dot, first morning. She starts doing little bites, trying to wake me up. Or if I have a leg out, she like claws at the leg and scratches at it to tickle. She's 7 o'clock is as late as she lets me sleep. If I cover myself back up, she'll give me to like 8. But she's literally sitting on top of me the entire time. So if I'm on my side, she sits right here. Yeah, he has a whole nother life in his sleep. Yeah. He wonders why he wakes up and doesn't feel rested. I'm like, because you move too much. You've been jogging. But, so, wish us luck with getting the RV. I was scared at first when we were applying, because I was like, okay, the truck's the most expensive part, so let's go get the truck, and then we'll go get the RV. Because I figured RV loans are for like, you can do 15, 20 years, 25 years. So I didn't think they were as hard to get as a truck loan. We go to the car dealership, get the truck like it's nothing. Of course, Jeremy doesn't have, I paid off everything, so he has no form of debt. We get the truck like it's nothing. We go to the RV dealership and decide we want to use our USAA because Jeremy was in the Navy, and USAA denied us a loan. And I'm going, okay, he makes pretty good money and there's no debt in his name. They refuse to take YouTube and Facebook income. Weird, huh? Because that is not on our 1090 or our taxes, basically from 2 years ago. They did 2 years ago's taxes and this last year, because it wasn't on there from 2 years ago. They wouldn't take it. So that I was really scared. I said, crap, we just bought a truck and we don't have an RV and we're not gonna be able to get a loan. And then we went through the dealership, and Bank of America was like, that's not a problem, I have a loan. I was like, oh. I lost some sleep over that, because here I am in the middle of cleaning out the RV, and my living room's destroyed from all the stuff. Yeah, USAA, we've never had a problem with them with anything. Any of our previous car loans, insurance claims, everything has been above and beyond with USAA, until they would not accept, because Facebook and YouTube do not give you pay stubs. You do not get official pay stubs. Therefore, they will not count it as income. So, just in case any of you guys had that, and you have unconventional jobs, now you know. But Bank of America, they're like, that's not a problem at all. And they gave us a good rate, so I can't complain. And what I would have paid for a nice, pretty house is now an RV and a truck. One day I'll get my dream house. I mean, we've been in this house 14 years. Oh, what's another 5 years or so? I mean, right now it's just a home base, right? We're going to be here 4 months out of the year. And luckily I have a good yard guy that lives in the neighborhood, so he'll take care of the yard for us. And I have really awesome neighbors that they know if anything goes on in this neighborhood. Their Ring camera picks up everything, and I can actually give them access to our Ring, so they'll be able to get both, and our house will be on lockdown. And then once we set the SimpliSafe inside, like, I can't imagine any issues. Yeah, credit unions are usually better, but as we learn, without pay stubs, yeah, apparently they shouldn't collect taxes. We are 1099 employees, they say. So they don't have to collect taxes till the end, or quarterly. But yeah, some things are meant to be. I didn't get my dream houses. We found a couple of them that would have just really made us happy, and stupid stuff like, oh, you're the highest bidder, but the other person's going to give them 60 days in the house, and you said only 30 days. So apparently we were supposed to be homeless for 60 days and let them stay in our house while we paid for it. Yeah, no, can't do that. Yeah, the housing market should be a little bit better. Unfortunately, my area there's a housing shortage. Of course, there is all over, but it's ridiculous how much some of the houses are going. Houses that, when you look at the tax income that they sold 5 years ago, just 5, for $250,000, are selling for over $600,000 now. So the average 4-bedroom in this and 3-bath in this area is now over $600,000, when we were $2 to $250. And you know, my real estate agent was even saying it's not worth it with this interest rate to be going after homes, and there's probably going to be a bit of a crash. It may not really affect the housing market too much because of the need right now, but she was like, just wait and see what happens. And us waiting till we get back from that first 8-month trip will be perfect timing. And oh, FK's in here. Hi, FK. I just saw that. And Teresa and Sean, Diane, thank you all for always joining me. I greatly appreciate that you guys are so supportive to myself, my husband, to Adam. It means a lot, so thank you. And yeah, it's like the run on toilet paper. I pray that doesn't happen, because RV toilet paper is different. As I'm learning, that stuff dissolves as you're wiping. Okay, a bit of a gross moment, but I love my bidet. So this RV has weird toilet seats that are kind of like grooved in. So like the lip of the toilet seat, and then toilet lid, everything in it has like a hump to it. So I couldn't put a bidet in. I bought one of the Tushy brand bidets. By the way, if you're gonna buy a bidet, Tushy has the best one. Nice gentle spray. It doesn't feel like someone with like a pressure gun cleaning out your tush backside. Yeah, I love my bidet in the house. Tushy brand. We have like an Amazon brand one. That thing feels like someone has a water gun aiming for you, and it's not pleasant. I want just nice gentle cleaning. Um, but yeah, life changing when you get a bidet. Trust me, you will talk about your bidet too to strangers. Um, so yeah, this RV, I had the bidet just sitting there. I was like, I can't put it on. I didn't realize until I had bought it. This next one, I think bidet, because it's actually a porcelain bowl with like the foot pedal like they do in RVs. I think the bidet will attach. Um, it's the little things, you know. The cats find the bidet funny too. They will accidentally trigger it during their crazy run around, and they'll like foot kick it, trying to climb up onto the sink, and it'll spray the wall, and they're like, woo! But you know, it's a little thing for the cats too. Yeah. Some of them feel like a pressure washer. Some of the bidets, the Tushy brand, you can like control how much you get, and you can move the aim of it. So if you want to clean the front side and freshen up, or if you want to do the back side, it does it all. And you can make it a nice, gentle, just trickling water effect. It's the best. I'm sure back when my dogs were younger and they used to try to drink out of the toilet, they would have loved it too. It's like a water fountain for them. Use the bidet as a spray washer for the cats. Yeah, my cats don't do water. The only one that actually likes water, well, Cindy and Ellie play in the water at the sink. But Donnie, the one that hides under the bed, he will, if no one's on that side of the house and I'm in the bath, he will come and sit on the bathtub and put his tail in the water and swish his tail around, and then he'll take a little splash in it and he'll lick. He likes to drink warm bath water. And yeah, he has no problem with water. You can bathe him if you want to, as long as it's warm water. But yeah, the rest of the cats. Cindy is about to get a breezeway done. Is that something that you guys wish to actually see? How you do a sanitary clip on a cat? Because if so, I can get Jeremy to record it. It'll be fun. I'll show you how to do it one person, because he'll need to be recording with my towel technique of wrapping. But yeah, Cindy, she's not cleaning the best back there, and she is about to get herself a nice breezeway and some baby wiping going on. They do have these new baby wipes that are just water, is what they're called, and it's just water. And they're really good and sturdy and good for cleaning up cat butts. Or when you live in an RV and you're in between campgrounds and you need a shower, a baby wipe bath. My kids, I couldn't trust them, even the 10-year-old, to actually scrub herself well, because you know she's like, I'm clean. I'm like, that is not a baby wipe bath. I'm like in there exfoliating. Yeah, so they work well for baby wipe baths. We have regular baby wipes with us and the just water ones. I'm looking forward to having a decent shower. I never really trusted the water tank in here because this is a 2010 21-foot motorhome. I wouldn't let the kids brush their teeth with the water, so I always put water in a cup for them to brush their teeth and to rinse the toothbrush out. It'll be nice having water with a filter that I don't have to be worried about. And it's like a 99-gallon tank. Like, maybe that was the black water holding tank. Well, it's a lot. 65 gallons maybe was the fresh water. So we can actually take showers even when we're not plugged in at campgrounds with fresh water. I won't feel so grody. Let's see. I found a source for free cardboard tubes for cat trays. Hey. The tubes they ship housing awnings in. And the installer is happy to give them to me. Oh, hey! That is awesome. Yeah. There's so many things you can do with those type of tubes. And getting them for free is really good. Uh, let's see. Oh yeah, the local zoo might enjoy that as for entertainment for some of the animals. Now, one of the vets that I worked with when I did emergency, he was one of the shareholders, and all the shareholders of the emergency clinic had to work a certain amount of shifts. And then as he was leaving, I was starting at the exotics vet, but he's the head vet for the Atlanta Zoo. Um, so, yeah, it's kind of neat knowing that one of the vets that I used to work with is now getting all those really cool animals, like doing all their vet keeping. Oh, my hubby's in here. Did you hear me talking about you snoring? uh, yeah, we can store a lot of stuff in the back of the truck. The back of the truck is going to be the things that he's going to take for doing the scuba diving and, his job. Each place I'll basically be finding a campsite for the RV to be left, and then he can go out and do his thing. Trying to figure out, though, how to do that with 2 trucks, a boat, and the RV, and have enough space, and then not charge us for a second RV spot, because that could get expensive. I did already. There's a person at my side door. Is my husband coming out here? Or the kids? Because they were told they had to stay in the house. But, yeah, I'm in the RV, if you all didn't know. But I already have planned out our September, kids, their first school break, their week-long break that they have in September. The way our school system works is 6 weeks of school, 1 week of break. 6 weeks of school, 1 week of break. And that's how it goes. So the first one, he's outside at the boat. The first trip for the school year, we're going back down to Florida. The lady that had her wedding ring fall off while she was down there, that had contacted Jeremy, by the time he made it down, she ended up contacting him and telling him that she just found out her husband was stage 4 cancer. And he wasn't able to find the ring. Well, I figure over that week, it might give him a better chance of finding it. And it's a beautiful area. The kids will love it for their break. The RV is a RV resort. It has a pool. So, yeah. I'm already thinking ahead. I'm planning and trying to get things lined up so we can make his job fun for all of us and go with him. And Jeremy's getting plenty of rest. He did let me take a nap today. I can't really see him. But, yeah, just trying to... There is so much mud from the Missouri River in and on that boat that everything had to be pulled out. It had to be sprayed and scrubbed. And now he's setting back up sonar, because the sonar he had was made to go in the rubber boat and the blow-up boat. It now needs to be able to go back and forth. So he is making stuff to be able to attach for Adam's sonar, for his sonar, because both the sonars work in different ways and are better at certain things than others. So they want to run them at the same time, that way nothing's missed. And Mr. Meow Meow, hello. He says that Nug's video was great. I can't even remember which one came out at this point. The whole trip, it's like all one big, I know the individual cases, but what happened with each day, because I'm the researcher for it. So, and of course, that's why I can blame myself, since he didn't find anyone, is I didn't send them to the right places. The Kansas City case, we were able to completely clear the river there and tell the sister of the missing man that he was not in there. That whole case, it broke my heart. She had been trying to have different teams come out. No one had come out yet. And I came across her post on Facebook begging for help to find out if her brother was in the river. His cell phone was found underneath a bridge. It's one of those bridge areas that there's industrial area underneath the beginning on-ramp part. His phone was supposedly found there. A homeless woman was using his phone. Tried to sell the phone back to the sister so she could get it. But so they're taking her word that that's where the cell phone came from. And they were afraid that he was in the river at that bridge. And we searched that whole river in the city. It was a very distinct truck that we were looking for. It wasn't there. There were lots of other cars. Lots of cars. Oh my goodness. Jeremy did make sure any of the ones with tags, the cops know about them all basically. But at least the sister was able to, and I met the sister, the mother, another sister, an aunt. They just want to know what happened to him. They are fully aware that he has probably passed away. He was on the phone arguing with someone when he left the house and was never seen again. It was a heated discussion is what they said, and that was it. And he was just from everything that I could put together, he was a big teddy bear of a man. He was a home health aide that lived in homes for 24-hour care for elderly people. Gigantic smile, just one of those guys that you can just tell from his picture is just, he's everyone's friend. There was nothing ever that I could come across written negative about him. Everything was just how extraordinary this man was. And even things that I found from before he passed away. So it wasn't just, after the fact they were saying this. So, I mean, that's the case that I wanted to help him so much. The sister was there when we at first found a vehicle that appeared to be a truck. Unfortunately, we found a truck. It was a single cab and not a double cab like his. But she left work. Her boss drove her down. Her boss was wonderful for her. But they sat there all day as they cleared all these cars. The second day, we double-checked everything, went and searched other places. But they know he's not in the river. That's the best we could do for him. Without a doubt, he is not in that river. But what happened to him then? They know there was some type of foul play. And unfortunately, I know it makes the sister the worst case scenario of all the horrible things that how he could have passed. They just kept going through her mind. She just wanted closure. That's all she wanted. And she just couldn't get it. So it really broke my heart. They were very, very nice people. It was different for me. This was the first time I had met the families to any of the cases. So I talked to them afterwards, but I've never met them before or during the cases going on. So that was having to tell the sister that we cleared them all, none of them are him, and just see the look on her face, knowing that she still doesn't have answers, her brother's still gone, and there's nothing else that can be done at that point. So that last hope she had of finding him in the river was gone. So yeah. But that's, again, while we're doing the big RV, we can search more areas, we can hopefully give more answers to families. I've found so many cases, and I know the other groups are also working on so many different cases, and when you start reading about the families that are involved, you really just want to help them. And it was hard for us as a family to be separated. Even if it was just, Jeremy does typically 3 days a week. He and Adam go somewhere, and then they come back. Sometimes it's 4 days. And it was not fun for any of us. Jeremy's a really good family dad, so he does not like being away from us, and we feel the same. But, so now we all get to travel. The cats get to travel with us. I don't have that horrible feeling of I just left my cats for 3.5 weeks and I'm not going to see them and they're not going to understand why. Luckily, they already knew our pet sitter, so that made things a little easier. But we can help more. I have my cats. I can still do my videos because there's always going to be some type of cat proofing. Oh, I did get some new scratch deterrent, I guess you could say. It's like a plastic sheet that you can, it doesn't bend to claw into it, but it still flexes to go around furniture. That's not supposed to leave sticky behind and ruin your furniture. So I got that to try out too. And I'm going to be building some scratchers to be able to deter any of the places that they shouldn't be scratching. I'm going to try to figure out how to put some scratchers near the litter boxes. Some cats do like to scent mark after they go to the bathroom. Like I had one that she used to always wipe her paws on the bed. Nice of her. After she went to the bathroom. And after going in people's houses doing the in-home vet care, I can see the marks near the litter box when they get out of the box, that they're either wiping their paws off maybe, or they're scent marking, because I do have the scent pads right there. Or they're putting the smell from the litter box in other places maybe. You know, we don't truly know the psychology behind it all. But I want to see if that helps with them wanting to scent mark in areas. My cats they love cardboard scratchers. So that I'm going to be using those everywhere, and they're a dime a dozen. I'm going to stock up on a whole bunch of them from the Dollar Tree. Literally the sheets of them that are 4 inches by, I think they're 14 or 15 inches. They're $1 a piece. I've made lots of cat toys from them in the past, so I'm going to be figuring out where and how to put them. A lot of double stick tape, I'm sure, things like that. So it will be a little bit different of a channel. It won't be just toy reviews and things in my house. Of course, it'll be getting the RV ready and being in the RV, day in the life with cats. So yeah, that is it. Would love to see more about the scratch deterrent. I saw this new one and I was like, ooh, I have to try that, especially since there's fake leather recliners. Sorry, we ate Chinese food and I ran right out here, and I'm still getting Chinese food's revenge of hiccups. But yeah, there's 2 recliners that are fake leather that I really do not want them scratching. But leather is something that cats love to scratch. I do trim their nails about every 2 weeks. I'm thinking about maybe trying out the soft paws, you know, the nail caps. There's a certain brand that have these cleats inside that mean you don't have to use as much glue, but they hold better, that I may be showing. But I have cats that like to chew their own toenails a lot, so I don't know how well those would stay on with a couple of the cats. Ellie, Charlie, and Cindy, the younger babies. Actually Kitty does her back toes. Yeah, see, some cats, the nail caps are great for, other cats are not. I have a feeling mine, I'll be replacing them a lot, and I'd rather just keep your nails short and get them other places to scratch, and maybe the scratch pads that you can put up against the couch. Just feeling it all through. But all right, let's see if there's anything else. Oh, you worry about the snake and Jeremy almost got bit. No, he did get bit. So for those of you that don't know, we were taking the boat out of the water, and while taking the boat out of the water, a water snake wrapped around the spare tire. Well, we were about to leave, and we were on, it was, I want to say 100 degrees that day. I don't think that was the 103 day. It was so hot. Yeah, I think it was about 100 degrees, so we didn't want to leave him on the asphalt. Jeremy wanted to put him back near the water, so he shoos him off the wheel. He falls down, but then he tries to go to the other wheel. So we keep shooing so he can't get to it, and then the snake just really isn't going very far. Probably the hot cement doesn't help. So Jeremy's trying to like pick him up, but the snake is like, Jeremy knows how to handle snakes. One, he knew this was not a poisonous snake, so he wasn't too concerned. But he picked it up by the middle of it. instead of behind the head where you won't get bit. He picked him up, snake struck at him, but he missed, so he dropped him, but he was barely picking him up off the ground, so it didn't hurt the snake. But he was still on the ramp, and there's more boats coming in, so he's trying to like get him off the ramp before the other people got there. And that last pickup, he went to try to toss him to the grass, nailed his finger. He said he doesn't even feel it. He just looked down and he was bleeding, but he's got 2 puncture wounds. I let him do it. I wasn't happy. I kept yelling at him to pick the snake up properly, but the snake needed to not be in that spot. He was going to die. And of course, he fights back. How is Charlie doing? Charlie, tonight we will start the new medication. Charlie has IBS. Let's add that to the list. So he vomits frequently. He has some soft stool. I'm going to start with trying Pepcid as the initial, well, that calm things down. I don't want to sedate him again and scope him and try to make sure that there's nothing else going on internally yet. Because using an endoscope and making sure the structure is right will probably be something that is needed in the future, because this cat is just special. But if occasional courses of Pepcid with some cats can actually help calm things down. But always, of course, talk to your vet before you try this. But we decided, first case, before going into truly like medications for keeping everything under control, I'm just going to do a week's trial of Pepcid to see if that helps with his vomiting, because he's about a once a day puker. And no, puking every single day is not normal for a cat. The occasional hairball is normal, not every day. If your cat pukes every day, you need to take them to the vet. Yes, back to the snake thing. Yes, some snakes do carry, well, all snakes carry bacteria in their mouth. I immediately, because he got a blister at the same time, so I wrapped the blister, I disinfected and sprayed the finger, so he's all bandaged up, right, almost immediately. Let's see. Yeah, Jeremy doesn't always listen to his wife. I'm used to it. But then there's the daughter in the background going, you know, she's always right. Which I think makes him rebel more. But, oh, your kitty cat's name is Liam. And Yo, I guess. They say hi. But yeah, so I think that basically sums up everything. Charlie's on medicine. He still has the growth on his head. It's a hair bigger. But it's still in a tight spot where they don't want to piss it off and have to try to do surgery, because where it is, we'd either have to do the suture technique where you let it grow in slowly, or because there's not any wiggle room on his head, or where you put a balloon in underneath, and the specialist would have to do this to stretch out the skin, and then you can get enough to close it. Most likely, given his age and the appearance of it, is not cancerous. He just happens to have a growth, which is probably related in sort to the polyp that he had growing in his ear into his sinuses. So we're at the don't piss it off stage is basically where we're at. We're just watching it. Any sign that it's changing or getting too big, then we start talking about other techniques. And Charlie still has, like every other week, a fat chin. He misses when he jumps or jumps off of something and his legs just aren't strong enough, so he whacks. He walks around with a swollen chin and his lip open. And you can see his bottom teeth as he walks around because it's so swollen and pushing everything down. Yeah, he's special. But, yeah. He just needs to stop trying to block me from going out the front door now. That's his new thing. Yep, I think I've answered everyone's questions. So I try not to do a live back to back to back, but since the Amazon Echo didn't give me the Echo Show, which was what was supposed to be this video, the cats didn't play well with it. I could not get the cats to actually notice me on it, because it's like a video monitor. I can talk face to face with them. They can hear me, but the cats could care less. Oh, hiccup. So yeah, it didn't work. So you get a live now, and then I may do midweek if I haven't pulled my hair out and have gotten a RV in somewhat of a normalness. I may do a midweek just walkthrough, since it's not really cat toy related. And the next few videos will probably be me setting up each item and the cats trying it out, seeing how things work over our next, I guess from right now, 3.5 weeks. Yeah. The next trip is 2.5 weeks, and it's a week from now. There's nothing like getting back from a trip with your RV going, I have 2 weeks to sell this bad boy. We're all selling the dive van, and then we've just bought the big truck, and we're buying the RV and getting everything set up and being back on the road, all in 2 weeks. Along with I work while I'm back in town, and all the editing that has to happen, all that funness. So when people are like, I want to be a YouTuber, I will hardly ever have to work, that's BS. At least in the line of work that we do. Granted, my channel is just a little baby channel, and I just do 1 video a week, but the husband with the 2 videos a week and his editing, and you get 1 video for being out for 8 to 10 hours, you know, that type of thing. So it's especially when I do like substitute teaching, they're like, oh, I'm gonna be a YouTuber. I'm like, do you know how much work that takes? And it takes, you know, posting once a week at least for you to be picked up with the YouTube algorithm. And then if you miss a week, you get dumped to the back, like those type of things, which I probably am now being dumped to the back because I missed last week. But, you know, it's a lot of work that people don't realize, but it's something that we enjoy. And me being the creative type, I have to have something that I am doing and figuring out and working out mathematically of how to put it together. That's my happiness, is figuring out these type of things. I don't think I can do a cat wheel inside the RV. Charlie's really the only one that uses it anymore. Ellie doesn't use it because if she gets on it, then Charlie gets on it. And then Charlie just jumps on top of her head. So Charlie's really the only one that uses the cat wheel. That and my daughter. I know that it holds up to a 10-year-old now. Things that we do that we try not to strangle our children for. But yeah, so it's still going after having a 70-pounder on there. So for the people that were like, oh, that won't hold a cat. Yes, it will. And a kid. And my 7-year-old's already been on it. And the husky was on it a few times. So, yep. Oh, you need to invent a conveyor belt kitty treadmill. I've already done that in a video. It was a weight fed treadmill. So the cat's weight, you could find the right angle for your cat's weight, and then the treadmill worked. My cats at the time, because I only had the adult cats, I didn't have the Charlie and Ellie, who like those type of things. Yeah. I got enough video of them using it by holding food up, but it didn't work very well for them to keep using it. They could care less without the food. But with the RV, when you push in the sidewalls, there's not a lot of space in between, so that's why I'm like, I don't know if I could ever get a wheel. Yeah, I don't think it'll work. But there is enough play with the wand toy that we get everything out of them. But thank you all for joining me today, and if you have any questions, leave a comment in the section below or in the live, and I can check back at it. Because for a few minutes afterwards, they'll let you comment. But thank you for joining me with this, and wish us luck with 5 cats and 5 people in an RV for 3 weeks, basically. And then soon living in it full time. But, yep, busy lady, so busy. You see what I look like today. I could care less. I could care a little, actually, but, you know, it is what it is. But thanks, guys. I will talk to you later. Where's my end button?